So my name is Fatih, I'm producer on Showdown.
So what are you guys showing here at GDC?
We are showing Hunt Showdown on Xbox.
Now for someone, like this game is really interesting because it went through a massive redesign from what we saw like a few years ago. It used to be a third-person 18th century like Left 4 Dead type of game, but now it's become a very unique experience. Talk a little bit about the gameplay.
So Hunt Showdown is a competitive first-person bounty hunting game that packs the thrill of survival games into a match-based format. Our game is all about high tension. The reason being is, first of all, you don't know how many players are there in the session with you, how many are still alive. It's all constantly the unknown. Is it an AI? Is it a player around the corner? We don't reveal anything, so you have to build a technical map around in your head, technically. On the other hand, there is constant fear of lose, because if you lose everything. The hunter, as well as the loadout that you brought into the session. And last but not least, high risk, high reward. But at the end, it depends on you. So if you want to just risk a little, to grind a little, let's say, we support that gameplay. But if you want to go all in, meaning like you want to gamble with the life of a hunter and kill all players on the map, take out the bounty, the max reward, let's say, of a session, that's also perfectly fine to do.
So the game is essentially a 2v2v2v2v2 up to 10 players in teams of 2, either fighting each other to kill each other to be the last one standing, or completing an objective by killing a monster on the map, correct?
It depends on the game mode. So we have 2 game modes at the moment, one bounty hunt. This is what you described. So there can be either solo players, duos, or a mix of both actually. And the objective is to find clues, to narrow down the boss location. And as you find the boss location, you kill the boss to banish him to hell. And with that, you get access to the token. And then the job is actually to make sure you extract a life. Keep in mind, the moment you banish the boss, that moment gets broadcasted on a map to all players. So technically, the hunter becomes the hunted. That's how we call it. In quick play, it's only solo players, 10 solo players. And what they do is they find rifts to activate Wellspring, to observe the energy of Wellspring, and then survive. So depending on the game mode, it's either solo only or solo, duo, or combination of both.
You guys talk about some of the monsters, because you guys take place in a very interesting time period. You guys take place in the 1800s, and kind of like the early Western days. Talk a little about the time period and the monsters you fight in this time period.
So the game, in terms of setting, we decided to go with the late 18th century. So we're in the Victorian area, and this allows us actually to combine 2 things. The old-aged weapons, let's say, in terms of arsenal, as well as the new-aged, like the early century weapons. So we have like a mix of both in terms of arsenal. In terms of AI, I mean, technically the game is placed between hell and heaven. So that's why you have this connection to hell. We call it dark side. That allows you to spot this demonic aspect of the gameplay. And while we have been inspired by some locations like Louisiana, obviously, it's our own take on how we consider that time to be in that setting.
And you guys also have wandering enemy types, like you have zombies, you have hellhounds on top of like the big boss monsters you fight.
So we have overall 7 special AI, that's how we call them, like hellhounds, armored and so on. We have 2 game boss targets at the moment in the game. Butcher, that is what we are showing today here at this event, and we have a spider. And in terms of game preview, we will have the scope will be equivalent to what we have on PC, like up to update 5. But we are going to add more content as we do on PC as well as on Game Preview.
You guys also added a new monster not too long ago. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, Emulator, the guy who puts everything on fire. So what he does is he's really fast. So when you engage him or when you face him, he's going to be attacking you very fast. And if you're not smart enough, he will explode in your face. So he will put you on fire.
So you guys are in CryEngine. Talk about what that opens up for you creatively for your team to use this engine, because a lot of people usually use Unreal or Unity. Yeah.
I mean, we are using CryEngine. We are using the latest version of CryEngine. And what it allows us to do is using the latest rendering pipeline of the engine. On the one hand, on the other hand, we have a close collaboration. So what they do is they evaluate the technology against our game. Vice versa, the game benefits from all the new additions the engine has. So we really collaborate together to build a technology that is for our production good, as well as then hopefully later available for licensing as well. So it benefits both parties.
So when does your game come out and what platforms will it be on?
So we released on Steam on February 22nd, 2018 as an early access title, and we will be on Game Preview this spring 2019.